How can communities of color increase their participation in clinical trials? Well, that's an interesting and complicated question. It's going to take a team. Again, this concept of one team, one fight. How do we make it easier for folks at risk populations to participate? It's that we have to make it easier. We have to remove many of the barriers. And many folk, like me, are hard at work trying to do that. One is making sure that your clinical trials are covered. We have recent news that, for example, folks that were on Medicaid that typically could not participate in clinical trials because there was no reimbursement for clinical trials are now going to be reimbursed. But the other thing is this concept of communities, particularly at-risk communities, being fearful of clinical trials, that you are really participating in a clinical trial because you're a guinea pig. Sadly, there are reasons to think that. But those reasons are in the past. Let me tell you now that when we talk about these miracle drugs, when we talk about clinical trials of today, you're now talking about clinical trials as a continuum of care. Now, not so much in the cancer space, but we now have evidence from things like even the COVID, which all of us are familiar with, space, that even people that were getting the placebo arm had better outcomes than people who were getting the standard of care. Now, what does it mean when you're in a trial? It doesn't mean that you are a guinea pig. In a cancer world, it means that you're going to be getting the standard of care, fact, and some. So when we say clinical trials, I wish there was a way of reframing that so that you really understood that we're not so much experimenting on you as that we're giving you access to, hopefully, high-impact drugs that will impact you, but give us information to better even make decisions for the people who come after you. One team, one fight. Your sacrifice to participate in these trials should be honored by making sure that you're getting the best possible care throughout the trial. That is what 21st century medicine is now today. Now, the truth of the matter is, we need to get better, and we are. And it's not enough to say, trust me. There's now evidence, both in literature and evidence from a number of patient advocate groups that could attest to what I tell you, that clinical trials are a continuum of care. And in fact, hopefully more folks of color will participate because we believe that every good drug deserves to have everybody exposed to it to know how well it affects you or doesn't affect. That is the part that requires teamwork by not just us, but by all of us together.